This video is for review quiz 1.1, which is all about graphing. This first problem, we're asked to graph y equals x cubed plus 4 using the given values of x. So we're going to use these 7 values of x to make 7 coordinates, and then we're going to plot those on the grid, and then draw a smooth curve through those lines. That'll give us the graph of y equals x cubed plus 3. So y equals x cubed plus 4. The graph, we're asked to find x equal to -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Pretty standard to use 5 points. The more points you use, the better graph you can have. Or you can just use graphing software. That's the easiest way of doing it. But for this one, we're going to plug in -3 into the x spot and then calculate. -3 cubed is -3 times -3 times -3, or in other words, -27. -27 plus 4 is -23. That's our first point, x coordinate of -3, y coordinate of -23. Okay, our next one is y equals -2 cubed plus 4. -2 cubed is -8 plus 4 is -4. So we have -2, -4. All right, y equals -1 cubed plus 4. -1 cubed is -1 times -1 times -1, or in other words, -1. -1 plus 4 is 3. So -1 and 3 is the next coordinate. Y equals 0 cubed. 0 cubed is just 0, so 0 plus 4 is 4. Then we get y equal to 1 cubed plus 4. 1 cubed is 1 plus 4 is 5. We get 1, 5. 2 cubed is 8 plus 4 gives us 12. And finally, we have 3 cubed, which is 27, plus 4 is 31. All right, so we have these 7 coordinates that we're going to plot on the grid and then draw a smooth curve through it. So let's see, the -23 and the +31, that's going to be pretty far away. I might not be able to plot those. We could try it though. Let's see if we can get there. So let's say this is going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I probably don't need to go that small. Let's do something bigger. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. Now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 29, 30. So this is a way of graphing it by hand that can help you out, is using different scales. You can see in this X scale, I've got -5 to 5, and then this Y scale, I'm using a smaller one. It's not as big. It's going to distort the graph a little bit, but you'll get the shape, and that's all we really care about here is the shape. Which one of these shapes is what we want. So I'm just trying to draw this thing out to where I can get all the points on there, and let me do the top axis as well. All right, here I have my grid. Now let's plot these points. The first one is -3, 23. You always go x on the x-axis first and then the y-axis. So on the x, we need to go to -3, which is right here. That's -3 on the x-axis. And then we're going to go down to -23 on the y. So that should be just about right about there. That's -23. Then -2, 4. -2 on the x is going to be this coordinate here. And then -4, we're going to go down to 4. So it's going to be right about here. Let me do some different colors so you can see it a little bit better. That's the first one. Here's right about the second one. -1, 3. So go left to -1 and then up to positive 3. Then we have 0, 4, so don't go left or right at all, and then go up to 4. It's going to be right on the axis, the y-axis. Then we have 1, 5, 1 goes up to 5. Then we have 2, 12, so right to 2, up to 12. And finally, we have 3, 31. So that's going to be way up here at 31. And drawing a smooth curve through them, it's going to look something like this. Something like that. And the graph that best represents that is graph C. Oh, I also need to plug these things in there. Negative 23, negative 4, negative 3, 4, 5, 12, and 31. And that's correct. Okay, so for this next graph, we're looking for, use the graph on the right to complete the following. We need to find the intercepts, and the intercepts are just where does the graph cross or touch the axes. So x-intercepts are where it crosses or touches the x-axis. Y-intercepts are where it touches the y-axis. So on this graph here, you can see that this blue line, right, it crosses the x-axis, or actually touches it here at -1. That's what this point is right here, -1 on the x-axis. And then it also touches it at +1. So -1 and +1 are x-intercepts. Now technically these are points, and whenever you cross an axis, so if we had, I'll just kind of draw this graph a little bit. Something like this. That. This is -1, this is +1. Technically this point here is the point 0, or sorry, -1, 0. It's left to -1, x always comes first, and then the y coordinate is 0. Because it's an x-intercept, it is understood that the y coordinate will always be 0. So whenever you're talking about x-intercepts, we really don't ever say the coordinate in its entirety, -1, 0. We say just -1 because y has to be 0 in this case. Just like for this other x-intercept, it's 1, 0. You can just say the x-intercept of 1 because there's only one place that can be, and that's at 1, 0 on this graph here. So the x-intercepts are -1 and 1. And then it says, what are the y-intercepts? That's where it crosses the y-axis. You can see it crosses the y-axis only at one spot here, right here at -1. And again, we do not say 0, -1. That would be the actual coordinate of this y-intercept here. We just say -1 because on the y-axis, if you're looking at the y-intercept, x has to be 0. There's no other possibility for it. So saying y equal -1 is exact information that you need. As long as you understand the context, you should be able to work out those kind of things. And that's correct.